Hello there, thanks for stopping by. This is a wee intro to a mini project we're running to prepare and paint the undergunnel tongue and groove cladding for the boat.
Originally, we were just going to put plywood lining, but we decided we wanted a bit of texture, so changed our mind, decided on tongue and groove was the way to go.
Now we could have bought T&G moisture resistant MDF panels, as these come in 8x4 sheets, so like plywood.
But we did not like the standard bead and butt style you can get from most suppliers. We prefer the V-groove style.
So we looked around for a supplier, but they have to CNC, they have to specially cut. So it was becoming costly at £180 a sheet. We need 11 sheets, so that's just under £2,000 to line out the boat.
That's too expensive, and standard wood T&G strips is around £400. It's a big cost saving for us.
Yeah, but it's a lot of wood. It's a lot to prepare and sand and prime and paint, so it's going to take a while. And we have to modify the battening at the bolo gunnels to accommodate.
However, as we are still waiting for boat delivery, we have time to do this at home rather than trying to work in the confines of the boat. So we're going to take advantage of the delivery delays.
So like the main build, this mini project videos will show you the effort day by day. Hopefully it won't be too boring. And you can get an idea of how long it will take us to clad out the below gunnels or the lower part of the boat.
This will probably split into 2 or 3 videos depending on how long it takes. Off we go.
Day 2. Now I'm going to check over all of the wood. Just check the knots, some will just be sealed, but if there's any holes I want to set them aside and fill just to make sure it's okay. So 150 checks to do. So, good pile. A bad pile. See, there's a bit of a wee hole there, so I'll just fill that up with some wood filler right there, just to make sure it's nice and smooth. Quite like the wood smooth. Time to get filling. Right then, a few hours later, 90 bits there, 60 bits there, 150 bits altogether, and 3 bits that couldn't use, mostly because right on the face edge the knots were just too bad to fill, and this bit of wood has got more knots than wood. And that's it. So a whole listening to Bat Out of Hell album and Elton John's greatest hits, and you can check and fill 150 bits of wood. Right then, day 3, sanding 150 bits of wood. So I'm going to do the sanding outside to save me getting all the sand in the garage that I have to then go and clean up. So, here we go. That's 10 done, only another 14 bundles to go. The food's not that bad, it just needed a light sanding, take some discoloration away, and any residual filler that I put in. It's just enough to give it a key for the primer when it goes on. Right, I'm going to carry on now, so play some music, which you can't put on YouTube. So maybe bagpipe greatest hits of 1794 and some songs about burly Scottish people walking through the heather with big swords. Right, that'll do for now. My ears are bleeding from the bagpipes and I'm done roaming in the gloaming. So yeah, I got 70 bits sanded and wiped down with tack cloth. So it's going to take a while. I reckon it's going to be about 10 or 15 days to get all of this prepped and done. So it's absolutely chucking it down with rain outside. And when I was up at the boatyard yesterday, I stopped into the lumber yard and got another 100 strips of tongue and groove. That's a total of 250 strips. Thank goodness I've got quite a big garage. So, yeah, because of the rain, got to do the sanding inside. There's just no avoiding it. But because I'm inside, clearly, PPE, bit of a mask, and earplugs. Not that daft. Yeah, well, that's that done. 150 bits of wood, all sanded and prepped, ready for, oh gosh, look at the dust. Ready for painting. Oh no, hang on, can't see. So that was 3 classic albums. Carpenter's Greatest Hits, which made me want to go up and down like I was in an elevator. Communard's Greatest Hits, which made me want to bop, but I realised that body went one way and belly went the other way, so we ruled that out. Don't want to see that on video. And the Corries, which made me want to go and put on a kilt and run round the garden hunting haggis. So even with the vacuum cleaner running and hoovering up in between batches, it's still covered in dust. Now Roma's at work today and she'll be home fairly soon. So I'm wondering if I would get away with asking her to come and tidy up the garage. How long do you reckon it would be before I'm afforded some physical injury? Next job is kind of rinse and repeat. They're all prepped and ready. There's another 100 to prep and sand. Hopefully the weather will be a bit better tomorrow and I can go outside. And if you're in any way interested, I did those in batches of 20, so 20 meters long. I got through a batch of 20 with one full 5 amp hour battery and about two to three sanding discs, just depending on how dirty the wood was. So if you're doing this yourself, just make sure you've got plenty of sanding discs, plenty of batteries on charge, or use a mains one. I didn't use a mains. In the end, I felt it was just throwing out so much dust in the garage that the orbital sander was a bit better with the hoover attached to it. It was okay, it wasn't, I mean, it's still dusty. If I was outside, I would probably use a belt sander. Okay, time for a brew. One last opportunity to walk through the house with dusty trousers before Roma comes home and screams at me if I try to do that when she's around. Oh, she's going to watch this. Oh dear God, she's going to watch this. Right then, nice cup of coffee. Oh dear goodness, I'm just looking at that and going, oh, look at the dust. Yeah. I wonder if I leave it, she'll turn around and go, this is terrible, I better tidy this up. What do you reckon? Think I'd got away with it? Nah. Right, so I'm just going to keep tidying up. That last little segment really was, I think a fair few people would be more interested in a bloke actually tidying up than to watch a bloke doing sanding. So, you know, plus I can show it to Roma and go, hey, look, I tidied up, make me a coffee, before she slaps me. So there's a couple of hours left today, so I may as well have a cup of coffee and start checking and filling the other 100 strips of wood, and then that'll be ready for sanding. Good morning. Now it's still absolutely blowing a hoolie outside. No way I'm sanding outside because of the rain. There's no way I'm sanding inside because of the dust. So today I've decided, let's crack on with the painting. First job, 2 coats of Zinsser Bin primer. Now this stuff's really good. It's quite watery, so it goes a very, very long way, but it does need 2 coats. It's a primer sealer, so it will seal all the knots quite happily. It's shellac based, so solvent based, so it will be water resistant when it's done, which is perfect. And I'm putting it on with really short pile mohair rollers, or wool rollers if you can get them. I tried the foam based ones, you know, the spongy ones that's supposed to be for gloss, but with the Zinsser Bin primer it destroys the foam very quickly, so it's no good. These mohair rollers are much better and give you a much more even surface. And I'm not going to really paint the grooves because it's just no point, but I will paint the tongues. I need a small brush for that. And painting the tongues is actually quite important because the wood will shrink and expand over time. So what you don't want is, when that gap appears, to be left with a little bit of either plain wood or white from the primer. You want to make sure that as we go through the process, we paint the tongues the same colour as our final choice, just to make sure that when any shrinkage happens, you're not left with a horrible white or wood gap. The last wee things I'm using, I don't know if you've come across these, painter's triangles. They're brilliant. You just put them down, put whatever it is on the surface. They're absolutely awesome. Just lifts it off the surface, gives it a bit of drying room. Pairs of gloves and my painting clothes, because I'm absolutely really messy when I paint. And if you're interested, today's choice of music is Motown's Greatest Hits. It's the longest album I've got. It's 3 hours and 29 minutes. Should just about cover us until lunchtime. So if you've got to this point in the video, congratulations, you're sticking along. But you might be wondering, why have I got so many bits of wood for below the gunnels? And it's basic maths. So here's 9 strips of wood. That represents 1 metre below the gunnels. The boat is 14 metres long. So 9 times 14 is the number of bits that we need to do one side of the boat. There's 2 sides. So 9 times 28 is the number of bits of wood that we need, plus a bit extra just in case we bugger things up or there's some of the wood quality is not great. So that's it. That's why we've gone for so many bits of wood. Right, time for a break. So I've done 30 strips, which is just over 3 metres of boat space. So, or 30 metres of wood painting. And that's not bad from half a tin of Zinsser bin. I mean, it covers the end grains, it covers the knots. The good thing about Zinsser bin is it's overcoatable in 45 minutes. So the stuff that's on the bottom of that lot is already dry. But I'm going to have a bit of a break for lunch. I'm going to make some vegetable soup, something like that. Now, I have to say, having listened to Motown's Greatest Hits, boy am I bloody depressed. What a thing. 3 hours of, doom, gloom, boyfriend breakup, girlfriend breakup, love lost, love found. Oh God, give me a bloody break. And people say Leonard Cohen, one of my favourites, is depressing. I think I need to find some cheery music for round 2 when I put the second coat on later of all of this stuff. Right then, lunch over, table reset, ready for round 2. Second coats. It's a bit chilly as well because the windows are wide open because of the smell. And music wise, something a bit cheerier is needed, I think. 101 driving anthems. That might make me work quicker. Right then, that is a definite vote for 101 driving anthems. I rattled through that really fast, and I know second coats go on quicker, but boy did I get through that.
Good news is, I think I've kind of figured out the timings. I still definitely 1 litre of Zinsser bin for 30 metres of wood, which is fine. The Zinsser bin's quite expensive, but yeah, it does such a good job and it goes on so well. It's raised up the grain as any primer will do, so it will need a bit of a sand, just a light 240 grit, batter over it and we're done, ready for top coat. So I'm going to carry on doing more and I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, it's day 6. All the paint from yesterday has all dried solidly overnight. I managed to get another 10 sheets done. I found some space behind me on the shelving. Look at that, look, yeah, made some space. So I can get 50 sheets of wood up. So really today is much of the same. Let's go do some painting. I won't bore you with watching all the painting. Another day over. Got loads and loads done. The nice thing about that Zinsser bin is if I do a whole bunch in the morning up until lunchtime, have a break for lunch, by the time I come back, it's dry and ready for its second coat. So I go through everything I did in the morning, do the second coats, and then any time that's left over, I start with a new batch of 1 coats. Now, I'm not telling you what music I've listened to today because Roma told me off. She said that after the Grandad dancing clip, I had gone beyond the boundaries of reasonableness. So apparently there are certain things that people see can never be unseen, and that was one of them. So I'm banned from listening to music just in case it gets the better of me. All I can say is just wait till we go to our children's weddings. Good morning, day 7. Bit of a lazy day today. I'm just going to do the second coat on about 30 bits. It'll take me about an hour. And then Roma and I are off for a pub lunch somewhere. Chill out a bit. So we'll wrap up this video here. We'll split it out. That was days 1 to 7. Got another 7 to 10 days of this to do. I'll make them a bit shorter because it's just repeating everything that I've done. So we'll see you next time.